It's time for Ask the CM.
You can ask anything you want.
With Worcester City Manager Eric Batista. On 100 FM The Pike.
Yeah.
Text in a question at 508-799-PIKE. 508-799-7453.
Yeah, it's getting to be so popular. We made an intro for it, Mr. City Manager.
I like that. I was like, where'd that come from?
Yeah, there you go. It's once a month, the City Manager, Mr. Eric Batista, comes in and tries to answer your questions. We try to get to as many questions as we can. We're limited on time, but thank you for coming in, as always.
No, thank you.
Appreciate it. And I think the first question is, you just submitted, is it the largest budget ever submitted for the city of Worcester? $1 billion or over $1 billion?
That is correct. It's the largest the city has ever seen. The budget has increased over a number of years. Oftentimes it'd be whether it's 3%, 4%, 5% increase depending on that year. This year the budget's increasing about 4.5% increase. A lot of that is due to the increases that are coming from the state related to Chapter 70, which is educational funding. Mm-hmm. And so it has driven up the budget that high. And so it's the first time in the history of the city we've achieved that. I don't know if it's an achievement or what, but it's
right,
we've gotten
right.
there.
Well, you mentioned education, and from what I've been reading, a lot of that is going towards education.
Yeah, $612 million of the actual $1 billion budget goes directly to education. I don't have any say or control on that. That is a formula that is established through the state. And so the state contributes to the city of Worcester, and then the city of Worcester basically moves it over to the school department. So $612 million is directly to the education program. And that's broken down to three areas. It focuses on providing funding for the Worcester Public Schools, the charter schools, and any special education assessments related to transportation.
Someone actually asked if the city was able to add another tech school. They feel that Worcester Tech isn't big enough to provide enough opportunity for the students that want to pursue something at a tech school. Is that possible to do that?
Yeah, the tech school, as I know it, Worcester Voc.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That school actually is in high demand. There's a lot of students.
Yeah. My daughter graduated from there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Go Eagles.
Yeah.
It's a good school.
My nephew did as well, and my nephew and my niece. It's of high demand. They have a long wait list. Families constantly want to be there because of the education and the different technical opportunities that they provide in that school. One of the things that we've tried to do in some of our new schools that we've built, like South High School, Doherty, et cetera, we're always looking to provide any technical vocational opportunities in those schools as well, because we know the demand that school has. And so we try to do that in different components. Like, for example, South High School, we created a diesel kind of engine program, technical program that allows students that may want to go into that field. Again, it's because the demand is high. We're always looking, as part of the new development of that we're looking to build a brand new Bronco High School. We are going to look into some technical vocational programming there as well. But again, that's something that's up to the superintendent, school committee to make those determinations, and we work in tandem with them to make sure we achieve those.
And then I was reading that there's going to be a lot going into infrastructure.
That's correct,
and rightly so.
That's correct.
Every year it's pothole central, and people are complaining about reconfigurations and things like that. So I've been reading that you're not going to be hiring any additional personnel, though, with that?
No,
you're providing resources, but not hiring additional personnel.
Yeah, so there's two components. There's the operating budget and there's the capital budget. We're putting significant amount of dollars in the capital funds, which is all about infrastructure, where there's equipment, road infrastructure, and some of the building as well, maintenance in the buildings. On the operational side, there was no significant increase like it was in the capital. And the reason for it is we've been very vocal and trying to recruit as many folks as we can to the department. We have a number of positions open currently right now. I believe over 40 open positions across all of DPW.
Oh, okay, so you're going to be hiring people.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to be hiring. And those positions are funded. It's just a matter of us working aggressively to hire people, recruit, and get people in there. Again, one of the process that can be a little bit cumbersome is the civil service process. And that's something that we're trying to navigate because, again, the more people we have working, the better and stronger. We used to be over a 90, and we were able to bring that down to in the 40s. And our hope is to bring that down even more. So we're going to continue our efforts to recruit. So if there's anyone out there that's listening that want to work for the Department of Public Works, be a laborer, has a CDL license, etc., please connect with the city and join our team.
Nice. Okay. Also, this goes to the 311 app.
Yes.
And 311. Someone is concerned that when jobs are posted for, for example, filling a pothole.
Yes.
That's posted. There's never a follow-up. They would like to have, if the job is closed out, if it was able to be completed or not.
Correct.
And it would just be, they say it would be more efficient because then they wouldn't have to call it in again if it wasn't taken care of. Is there any way you guys could change that to maybe give a follow-up to jobs that were posted?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
We have heard a lot from residents regarding that situation. And there's been often times where someone sends a picture or submits a complaint or a request, etc., and then the job is closed. What I do want to let people know, sometimes the job is closed because there's already a duplicate, or what has happened as well is the job is closed, and it's more so when they close it, it's because it's been assigned to a department. Now the department has the assignment and they got to do the job. So we're going to look to see if there's any way that we can keep the item pending until the job is completed and provide any feedback and conversation or updates on the actual ticket so that people can, like you said, people know what's going on. So when it's completed, then you close it. So those are the things that we're trying to work internally in terms of our process. We've heard the community loud and clear, and that's some area that we need to strengthen.
Another question came in about now, correct me if I'm wrong, though, a while ago, there was a citywide speed limit of 25 miles per hour.
Yes.
For all the streets. This person is wondering how's that being enforced? And he's noticing there's still signs up that say 30, 35 miles an hour. Is that something that the city has overlooked? Are those still 25 miles per hour? Can you speak to that at all?
Yeah. So our enforcement, we have a great traffic division in the police department, one that we've been trying to grow because there's been a high need for them, and we're trying to use different technologies as well to try to like speed monitors, it's called. And so, the 25 mile an hour limit is across the entire city. However, there are streets in the city that are required to be at 30 or 35, depending on the statute, depending on whether it's a state road or not. And so, for example, Park Ave. Park Ave is an example
right.
that...
in fact, this person actually specifically mentions Park Ave.
Yeah.
So good. That's awesome. Yeah.
That's great. And so Park Ave specifically, right, it's not going to be a 25 mile because it has other statutes in terms of the spacing. It's in terms of the actual state regulations, but any other if there's a posted sign, that is the speed limit to that area. However, there could be that we might have missed the sign that we should have changed to 25 and it's still at 30. But so if a resident feels as though there's a street that they feel like it should be at 30 and the sign says, it should be at 25 and the sign says 30, send it to the 311 app, send it to the city, call us in, and we will verify whether that should be or not. But again, if the sign is posted, most likely that's the speed limit of that area.
So follow that sign.
Correct.
I also noticed, reading up the budget, there's going to be more speed bumps in the back roads, which I wholeheartedly agree with.
Yeah.
I live near Lovell Street, and people were, up to 70 miles an hour. And I get it, it's a straight road, but there's tons of families there. But they finally put in some speed bumps, which really made a difference. So that's going to be happening too, right?
Yeah. This the speed humps become very popular in our neighborhood streets, in our side streets, and residents love them. There's actually some residents don't like them, some residents do, because depending on where it is located, if somebody doesn't notice them, and so somebody doesn't pay attention, and they go, you hear a loud bang.
Right, yeah.
And some residents don't like that. But overall, they're good because it slows the traffic down. It helps when kids are outside playing, riding their bikes, etc. So, and that's something that's been very popular with our counselors as well. And one of the things that we have shifted from in many of the neighborhoods is we used to do a lot of temporary speed humps. Now we're looking to do permanent, and so we're building that infrastructure in, which has been extremely beneficial for us in the city.
All right, we're talking with Worcester City Manager Eric Batista. Just a couple more before I let you go.
Yeah,
I know
no
you're
worries,
busy.
no worries.
So someone wanted to ask about WGBH moving into the Worcester Public Library, and are the taxpayers going to be paying for that?
No, there's no formal agreement. There's no thing that we're going to be paying or anything. They're simply going to be using the library like anybody else uses the library. Oftentimes we have different organizations, nonprofits, entities, private entities using the library for space, to meet with people, to have one-on-one meetings, conversations, etc. That's basically the use. I think that was misrepresented in terms of what that use would look like.
Okay.
And I think people felt, rightfully so, in terms of what their concerns were related to, taxpayers providing any dollars to a private entity or a media entity.
Right.
And so that's it. I appreciate you asking that question, because that's something that's been, asked quite a bit over in my office.
And finally, why do you hate chickens?
I do not.
Why do you hate the chickens?
I do not hate chickens.
Full disclosure, we've had Amanda Shearstone from Chicken Up Worcester, who I'm sure you may have spoken to or heard from, on the show a couple of times. Again, full disclosure, I'm fully supportive of that effort, because I believe that people have the right to produce their own food, whether it's gardens or safely managed livestock in the proper area. And I know people who have chickens, and please don't make me give them up.
Oh, I know people who have chickens too.
Okay, and they do it right. Yeah. And they do it right, but you're against that.
Yeah. No, so I think one of the things that we took into consideration is we have to think about the collective of the entire city. And so the commissioner spent some time reviewing those things and the pros and cons about doing that. And what we felt as though at the time was to continue with the current ban that we have in place. The ban was created way well before me, but we felt as though it was a moment to just keep the ban and not change the policy. Now, there's been questions about, do we do a special permit? Do we allow a special permit for if you have the means or you have the desire to raise chickens, then you go through a special permit and you can be allowed to raise the chickens through that permitting process. And one of the things that we felt as though is to allow a special permit or to allow chickens just in general in the city, it would require us to staff up and have the protocols in place to do it either or. And we felt as though at the time we felt strongly just to not open up the ordinance or not allow the chickens in the city. Now, me as a person, I grew up around chickens.
Okay.
I literally all my life since I lived.
And you grew up here?
Yeah. Like my parents, they live outside the city. They live in Central Mass, and I also grew up with raising chickens in Puerto Rico when I was there. My job as a young kid, every morning before going to school, my job was to go and collect the eggs of the chickens. My sister was to feed the pigs. She didn't like feeding the pigs. My job was to collect the eggs and bring them in, wash them so that they'd be ready. My dad just last year actually was raising chickens. And so I know the work that it takes. I know how important they are for a community, for a family, etc. Unfortunately, the decision that we made, we felt as though that was the right decision for the city of Worcester.
Okay. Someone brought it, well, it's going to attract bears.
Yeah.
But, then we should ban bird feeders and grilling outside and putting your trash outside. I'm more afraid of the raccoons in this city than a bear coming in here.
Yeah.
And then there's obvious health reasons. But like I said, I know some people who are doing this, and they're doing it by the book.
Yes.
And they read up on it, and they study the diseases that could be involved, and, how to take care of the waste properly and stuff like that. So I just feel like that should be an option for people, especially these days when food prices are going up.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I get that. And I think those are the things that, we take into consideration. I think the challenge becomes when you have a large greater city where you have, significant amount of 3-deckers in the community. And And then it presents a challenge that if someone in the 3-decker wants to have one, where could they have it? Do they have it in the basement? Do they have it outside? Does the landlord allow that? Do they need authorization from the landlord? And then if they leave and they go to another tenant and they leave the chickens behind, who's responsible for the chickens? Is the owner now? So there's a lot of things that we wanted to take into consideration. Those things, is what allowed us to make the decision we made.
All right. Well, Mr. City Manager, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
For taking these questions submitted
Absolutely.
by the listeners. Again, we couldn't get to, there's a lot of them. We couldn't get to all of them. We're both limited on time, but hopefully you can join us again next month. We'll have some more
absolutely.
for you and find out what's going on. So
I know. I truly enjoy it. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
You got it. That's Worcester City Manager Eric Batista here at 100 FM The Pike.